My phone started ringing early one morning on the weekend. Usually, when that happens, it's either because somebody's dead and I need to drive out to a crime scene, or somebody's trying to sell me an extended warranty for my truck. But this was different. I heard my friend on the other end of the line. Their voice was small, sounded afraid, crying and fearful. They asked how to get a restraining order against their partner, whose violent outburst had been escalating. Later that day, I look down at my phone and I see the familiar red circle indicating I had a new message. I check the message. Another friend of mine, desperate to know whether their partner had been arrested. They had taken out a restraining order against him, and when I told them that yes, the partner had been arrested, they were relieved because at least they knew the partner was alive and safe. That was one day out of the more than 2,100 days I have served as prosecuting attorney for the County of Kaua'i. In my job, I have an opportunity to use my platform to help people who are suffering. I'm committed to using that platform to help eliminate the scourge of domestic violence in our communities. Hawaii's criminal laws concerning domestic violence are convoluted and often result in unjust outcomes. Section 709-906 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes, which encompasses the penalties for domestic violence, is a mess and needs to be overhauled. The Women's Legislative Caucus attempted to do just that in the last session. The bill was the product of months of careful deliberations and meetings that included every stakeholder. It died in the waning days of the session, which was a heartbreaking defeat for advocates. Our biggest challenge in law enforcement is the understandable fear and reluctance of victims to participate in a process that almost seems designed to fail them at every turn. Victims often need to take multiple days off of work, arrange childcare, spend hours in court only to see their cases continued over and over again, to sit in the same room with the person who abused them and jeopardize their financial and personal security, only to testify to juries that often acquit their accusers. The statistics become mind-numbing. 50,000 women in Hawaii are victims of domestic violence every year. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 5 men will experience sexual violence. 1 in 3 women experience domestic partner violence. Whether we know it or not, each one of us is directly or indirectly affected by this problem. The story of Judge, now Justice Brett Kavanaugh, is a case study of these problems writ large. Dr. Christine Blasey Ford is living a story that police and prosecutors see every day. Victims of domestic violence are subjected to abuse and scrutiny in the public. They're called liars. They're blamed for the fact that someone abused them and accused of having nefarious agendas. Their lives are upended as they are ritually humiliated in public for all to see. Our system inflicts repeated traumas on those that it is supposed to serve. If victims and survivors are ever to trust us in law enforcement, we have to build a system that respects them, acknowledges their needs, and works effectively to achieve real justice. Our first impulse should be to believe victims and survivors when they have the courage to come forward. We should listen to and support them and empower them to make their own decisions about their lives without judging those decisions. Domestic violence victims are trapped in a cycle of power and control. Until we create a criminal justice system that recognizes this, the situation will not improve. We have the power to build that system. It's time for us to do it.